Okay, we are live and on the air, and this is the. I'll tell you what it is as soon as I share the screen. This is the 2015 Player Play Contest hosted by Board Game Geek. It is a meet and greet special, and today we are going to speak with, or actually, I'm your host, John White. Sir Bob Games, and I am privileged here to speak with James Robertson. Is that right?
Yes.
Um, Willing to come in and speak about his new print and play game. James, the first question to you is
I'm James Robertson. I made the game Behemoths, and it's a 2-player hex grid strategy miniatures game with a strong emphasis on melee combat and facing.
that is pretty cool game. So the tell us about the range of this the attack system. Tell us how this game works in regards.
Um, all attacks right now are melee. Your units have to be right up against the other units for any attack to go through. I actually made the game because I was wondering if there were any hex games that where facing was important for melee combat, like attack the back, whatever, and all the ones I found, facing was only important for range, so I decided to make it.
Let's take a look at. Let's get some more insight on before we learn more about you and your career as a board game designer. Let's delve in just a little bit more about Behemoth, and I'll share the screen as you go over some of the unique key components to the game. Is a screen being shared with you?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
So, that's a piece. Each of the different sides has 2 stats, attack and defense, and the piece itself has the amount of movement it can move and total number of hit points, which is how many it can take.
Okay.
In general, you only really worry about a couple sides at a time for a unit because of how they're placed. So you don't have to...
I see that. I noticed that each side has a unique thematic attack and defense on it, on each side.
Yeah. Each side is supposed, each unit is supposed to be the entire body of the unit. So each side is supposed to be that side of the unit. So if you're in front of a crab, its claws are the side. So the stats of the claw are that side.
Right. And in this example of the crab, it seems like it has a kind of like one side represents the top of the shell, defensively speaking, right? Or no, is that the Reds' offense?
Red's offense.
Oh, okay.
So if you're ever behind a crab, there's absolutely no way it can get to you. So it has zeros. It's hard to see in that screen share, but I have a unit here.
Okay, let me switch off to you. Okay, we're over to you.
Okay. This is
great.
a This is actually
Oh, that's beautiful.
this is a business card I made for PAX actually, but
Oh,
I designed it after my units.
oh, nice.
So the crab. This is also an old design. It's not nearly as pretty as the one that's up on Google Docs now,
Uh-huh.
but you'll notice that the back side of the crab or its rear end has absolutely no attack because the back of a crab
Right.
doesn't have much attack.
Right, but what's great about your thematic abilities is that that crab has equal quality defense because of its shell, right? I mean,
Right. Not
okay.
a number of units have different defense sides depending on where it is.
Mhm.
Like the manticore's tail is chitinous, so its rear has higher defense than its front because it has exoskeleton instead.
Very cool. I like that. And so the movement, since it's melee, some of the movement is spent um, maybe turning those tiles
Yes.
to align a stronger advantage.
Yes. It movement. It costs one movement to move a hex in any direction,
Mhm.
and one movement to rotate um, your unit one click or whatever. So
Okay.
so in as combat progresses, there will be turns where you won't move your unit position wise, but they'll redirect their facing because that's significantly more important for that encounter.
Yeah.
Um,
Is creating space away, backing away from a melee um, advantageous to like maybe turn and reapproach with this with a
Sometimes
okay.
it's really odd. If I haven't every time I play the game, we find
Uh-huh.
out different positioning strategies. So
Oh,
I haven't really gotten a good handle on what's good and what's not yet, which is awesome because that
yeah.
means the game has a lot of replay value. But it's really hard for me to say if any move is good or bad. I don't really know yet,
Right. Thorough
which is a lot of
playtesting would reveal maybe some more mechanics or some interesting melee storyline or tropes coming to fruition, right? So you would through playtesting.
yeah. I really need more playtesting to get a handle on on what's good or not. One of the things that I found out that's really interesting to attack on every side
Hmm.
on your turn. Having a unit be surrounded is sometimes a good thing because that means they get attacks on a number of different units.
Oh,
But then they're exposed the next turn, so they'll get ganged up on by a whole bunch of units and you might lose a unit. So whether or not it's worth it really depends a lot on your position, and it's interesting having to gauge whether or not it's worth it.
do you have unique rules for jumping over a unit?
Right now, the only units that can go over other units are flying units,
Uh-huh.
and flying as a rule has undergone more changes than I think all of the other rules combined in the game.
Wow.
Like
Is there
it's
any so it's just the tile. So there's no injected card actions or a variable player power, single action ability or any
no.
okay.
There the units can
Oh,
have the
streamlined.
units have abilities,
Yeah.
but I when I made the game, I wanted it to be playable without them.
Okay.
So you can play the game without using any of the additional abilities.
So it leans a little bit more toward a chess, tactical um, you got to know what your goal is with aligning the melee.
I'd say closer to something like BattleTech,
Okay.
because one of the big things in chess is that you can only move one unit.
Oh.
Or you can only move one piece in chess. In in other games, entire army each turn.
Okay.
So it's the way positioning works is a little off from chess.
Ah, very cool. So we really dig deep into Behemoths, but how about we get a little background on? Um, Let me go over the exact sentence here. Uh, Tell us why you got started into making games and what into the hobby initially.
Um, the generally, I really like playing games, and the first game I wanted to make was a retheming of the Star Wars Saga Edition role playing game, and
Hmm.
the the couple games that I've made have been a result of me wanting to play a game, and not finding it. So just making it myself.
Oh,
So if
okay.
I I want to play the game, and I can't play the game if it doesn't exist. It exists is to make it.
Very cool. So, creating these new games.
Um, Behemoths is the first original game I made, and that I think I started early February, so not very long. The Star Wars retooling was, I want to say, 4 to 6 years ago. I don't exactly remember when I tried, but it's a while. And ever since then, I've been really big on game design, just as a concept, not actually doing it. So I've been animals in genre.
It's the streamlined design of the tiles only is very nice. Very nice design. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. Um,
I hope so.
so yeah. Well, speaking of other, what do you have you seen any part of the contest print play that really piqued your interest that you wanted to kind of give a shout out to one or two designs that you thought were kind of either interesting thematically or mechanically unique?
A bunch I want to play that I haven't gotten around to. The only one I've gotten to play so far was Pocket Armada, and I had a black. I want to play Cluckbot because thematically it just seems really cool, and it looks like it's a positioning game, and I really like positioning battle.
Wow.
Because it's got that little grid. And it's just I haven't. Pieces is a pain in the butt, so I've been avoiding
Oh yeah, yeah.
it. that's
No,
that's
it's a
really
big
what it boils down to.
yeah. It was a really big deal when you select which print to run the printer on and spend time, cutting out, sleeving, or whatever you have to do.
Yeah, it can take a while.
Yeah, a good commitment. Um, I think some of these games are approachable, like yours, because of the amount of printing there is to be done on that.
Yeah, you only need. Nice thing about my game is that you only need one page for the tokens, and then you print out the board, and you don't have to cut out the board because it's just a board.
Right, you're right.
And if you want more, you can print out another sheet of tokens, another board, stick them next to each other, and you've got a giant battle.
So you could actually get more than the initial guys. Well,
Yeah,
let's see. You got one, two, three, four, six guys,
yeah,
and you have which is I didn't mention. You have a nice create your own there on the bottom.
yeah. I need to make a couple more create your own things in case people actually want to make a number of units. Because those
Okay.
are
Oh. They're off on orientation.
Yeah, if you look at you notice how there are um, where the attack
Oh,
and health, or the where the health and movement things are.
hell,
They're
yeah, the hell.
different for the ones that some are corner facing, some are side facing.
Huh. I know exactly what I know exactly what you're talking about there on the bottom of where the
Yeah,
image of the
I need
artwork go.
I need to make two more so that they're all properly facing.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
It's
they're the
on
top.
the point instead on the flat
Yeah,
area. Okay, that's
some
great.
some units are like that because they face the way they're positioned would be different. But
Oh, I'm noticing that.
yeah, because for some units, which area is the front and back is really important,
Hmm.
and other units the sides are really important.
So, did you want to create like two more of the
Yeah,
alternate? Oh, okay, obvious. Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty obvious. So you'll
yeah,
the other set.
yeah.
Okay, that would be very cool. Because once they print out the main guys, then they'll have an opportunity to try something, try another guy unit. And then initially, what we were talking about is if you brought 6 units onto the board, if you really wanted to have fun, a seventh or more would be possible for
Yeah.
craziness.
I've done the largest game I've done is 12 on 12 with
Hmm.
two of each unit
Yeah.
over boards.
Hmm.
Um,
What's
I'm
the playtime of using constraint of 6 units within that 8.5 by 11 map?
It's really hard to say because every time I've played, I've been asking people every turn what they thought about it, so that dragged out play a bit. But I think about a half hour.
Oh,
I want to
wow.
say most.
Wow, that's half the time I thought it would take. The
Yeah,
Well, I would be afraid that, like, if you were playing against me, I would be running away into the corner,
that
and
doesn't work very well. Like it, if you run away too
huh,
running running away at the right time can save you, but if you do that too much, what's going to happen is they're going to have an opportunity to get all their advantageous sides surrounding you, so that
oh,
they're so flanking. What I really like about this game is that flanking isn't, oh, you have two people next to them so you get a bonus to attack.
right.
Flanking is actually, there's no way that they can have their front, if all of their good sides are on their front and you're flanking them, there's no way they can have good sides on both your units.
So
So
someone will tactically get more units with the proper sides, and you'll be stuck
right.
into creating combat in a compromised position.
and be,
Okay.
and because people roll for defense, I've seen a lot of really exciting comebacks. Like it's not because you can roll for defense and attack from multiple sides. I've seen people come back and
Hmm.
pull out a close game, even if it wasn't a win, when they had 3 units to another person's like 5.
Oh, wow.
So you're never. It's one of those games where you're never really out of the running, which
Oh,
is also
that's
fun. And
yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't designing that with a goal. It just kind of happened.
Wow, that's very cool. Yeah, the catch-up mechanic being roll for defense. Is that like a added bonus, or like
No,
is
you're
that
the
always
the,
done?
the defense. Yes,
Okay.
so it's always attack against defense, kind of like Risk.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Risk based combat system.
So
Um,
is the attack and defense numbers where they're adjacent and matched up against each other, are those added to the roll,
that's the
or
number of dice you roll.
oh, number of dice? Okay, got it.
Yes. So the way defense works is the attacker rolls the attacker dice, the defender rolls the defender dice.
Right.
The defender takes his highest die, and the attacker compares each of his dice to it. And if they're higher, for every die that's higher than the defender's, he does 1 damage.
Okay.
So if a defender ever rolls 6, he's not taking any damage, kind of like in Risk, where defender rolls 6, he wins. But if the attacker rolls higher, they do damage. And I did it that way so that there was the potential to do multiple damage in one hit without it being overwhelming.
The health, tracking the health total of each character, have you used some sort of the hit points reducing?
What I did was I took the scrap paper from cutting out the things. I took a red marker, made a bunch of it red, turned it over, made a bunch of it blue, and then cut out a bunch of really tiny triangles, and I just put them on the units every time they're hit.
Oh, okay. So there's 9.
I couldn't really make specific tokens because they'd have to be too small, so I just have these little triangles. Super tiny.
And that's paper?
No, this is the really nice cardboard version I made. When I do paper, what I do is I kind of fold the triangles in half so they're easy to pick up.
Easy to move around.
Yeah, I didn't make the cardboard version until I went off to PAX. But with paper, as long as they were like folded in half, it was easy to pick them up and put them on and stuff. And losing them was never really a big deal because it was just little bits of paper.
Congratulations on a solid game.
Thank you.
Getting it complete and entered into the 2015 print and play contest. Is there anything you would want to add, or how was your experience so far? It's so early in the contest. How was your experience preparing this game? And if you haven't being a part of the effort, I haven't even mentioned who's curating the contest, which needs a shout out of a great job they're doing.
Yes.
Which is Kurt, right? Nate. I'm sorry. I always see his other name. So Nate has done a great job. We wanted to give a shout out to him as well, and look forward to seeing what happens. This contest is going to last for quite a while.
I think it's 2 more weeks, and then all the submissions have to be in, and then 1 month, and all the voting has to be done. So we have like a month and a half, I think.
Right.
I could be wrong. That's just off memory.
I'm going off memory too, so I'm leaning toward yours. I'll have to get that on the next interview. Well, thanks, James.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Awesome that you came in, be the first to do the meet and greet, and I hope the best for your game Behemoths in the contest.
Absolutely.
It looks very tight.
More than doing well in the contest, I would just want feedback. Like, game, tell me what they think. If I get the least number of votes, but a bunch of people play it, I'm happy.
You're recording another meet and greet in the future. All right.
It's been nice
Good night.
talking to you.
Nice talking with you.